Train the muscles, not the joints.
Welcome back to Natural Bodybuilding Mountain. And somebody asked me in the comment section a couple days ago if I still believe in going to failure. And I guess this is based on some of the workouts that I've been doing lately, where I've been doing some easy workouts and working my way up into intense workouts, right? And I've been rotating these intensities back and forth, or at least revolving them. And the quick answer to this is yes, I do believe that going to failure, or pretty close to it, is necessary in order for you to build muscle or build strength. Now, before you click off this video, when powerlifters do strength training, they're working in intensities where they don't necessarily need to go to failure because the intensity of their 1 rep max is so high, right? So they eventually work up to that. So yes, they might do 1 rep with something they can do 2 reps with, but they're still so close to failure that they are getting an intensity aspect to their training, right? The body is saying, hey, this is still pretty damn heavy. It might not be my max, but it's close enough to it that I need to get a little bit stronger in order to deal with this load. Now, when you're working in higher rep ranges, which I recommend, medium to higher rep ranges for the most part, I never recommend the 1 to 2 reps like, some people might recommend. But the bottom line is when you're working in different rep ranges, you have to have some signal to the body that it needs to output more work. It needs to be able to do more volume or more reps in a set or whatever it is. And that form of stimulation usually comes in the form of intensity, whether it's to failure or whether it is in weight or whether it is in just blanket volume. But the problem is with volume is that if you do too much, now you start getting into the endurance category and you're no longer in anaerobic categories, and gaining muscle is a primarily anaerobic exercise, right? So if you start getting into endurance training, the body's like, well, I don't really need all this muscle. I just need to be able to continue to do really light weights over and over again. I don't need all this muscle that can lift heavier weights, right? So what you have to realize is that intensity is a signal to the body to tell it that it needs to get better at whatever it is you're doing. The only thing is you want to do the intensity as safely as possible. If you're straining with weight that you can't lift and you lose balance or suddenly hit failure or whatever, the chance of injury goes up dramatically, and the benefit to risk ratio is much lower as opposed to using a weight that you can handle or at least control. So yes, I do believe in going to failure. It is necessary, or at least close to, in challenging the body that way, because in the end, muscle is to be able to do more work. And you need to put it in environments that challenge its present level of ability, and you need to challenge that so that way it can go to the next level of ability. And usually that comes in the form of more reps or more strength endurance, right? And these things will help you build muscle. So yeah, I talk about lower intensity type workouts where you're not going to failure, where they're glorified warm-ups really, like they're easier workouts. But that doesn't mean that I'm not talking about doing intense workouts from time to time as well, just to make sure that the body remembers and understands that it needs to adapt to higher forms of weight or intensity. Mountain. So I hope this helps you out in your training. Thanks a lot for watching. If you need to get a hold of me, just go to naturalbodybuilding.com, and thanks a lot to the patient supporters who support the Natural Bodybuilding podcast that I put up every week. Make sure you check that out. The link is in the description. Mountain.